We are going to talk about the dark side of commercial real estate and the dangers of over identifying with the work. In commercial real estate, in the industry, there's a saying, and it goes, "You're only as good as your last deal." And I remember that saying early on in my career because it set the tone. It set the tone of once you close a transaction, if you are in this business, then you have to move on to another transaction as quickly as possible with the least amount of celebration. Well, obviously, that celebration part isn't in the quote, but that's what it felt like. There was no ritual for celebration. At least for me, it was always about moving on to your next deal. Now, after living that way for a while, where many investors and brokers and anyone who's doing a lot of transactions or is looking to do a lot of transaction lives, I started seeing these second and third order consequences come up, which everything became commoditized. So if attention wasn't focused on finding transactions and doing deals, then that attention was worthless. That attention didn't mean anything unless it was dictated and directed towards how to find the next transaction. If I was spending time doing anything else, then it felt like I was being unproductive. And my self-worth was directly correlated to my net worth. Now, that's great sometimes because at times it felt like, oh, I'm just so ambitious. I have so much ambition that I need to keep pushing forward. But as time progressed, I couldn't really understand whether that ambition was actually my own or was that an ambition that the industry had perpetuated onto me. And so it became confusing. It became more confusing when I started judging the time that I spent with friends or with other people on whether it got me closer to my goals. Everything had a filter on it. And it was either this is getting me closer to my goals or this is not. And that was fine. That was fine for a while. Because when you're looking to do transactions, it's difficult to do them when you're starting out. And so all of this energy has to go into it. But what happens is if there is any kind of failure or if there's anything that goes wrong, then I started thinking that I think we start thinking there's something wrong with us as a person, that there's something wrong with me. If this person doesn't respond to me, then there's something wrong with me. If I don't get this deal done, then there's something wrong with me. If this is taking longer than it took somebody else, then this is something that is wrong with me. And I've had this conversation with clients where they feel frustrated and they think that something is wrong with them. And that's because they start over-identifying who they are with the commercial real estate work that they are doing. This business is very competitive. It has a lot of people in it that go from deal to deal, or they'll only reach out when they need something. But then that takes a certain amount of toll on a personality where they believe something's wrong with them. And then they start thinking about why they're even doing this in the first place. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to over-identify with the work and assume that you're only as good as your last deal. I want you to do the work for the right reasons, for your reasons that you know what they are. And if you give space to having those reasons and holding on to them in a real way, in a truthful way, in an honest way, then it will allow you to bring the experiences where things didn't work out to your work in an honest way where it actually adds value to your work, where it allows for you to be more of yourself and it gives you a chance to hold on to those reasons and figure out why you first started in the first place. So there's a danger in over identifying with the work. Don't identify with your self-worth and the amount of success that you have, because if that success is gone one day, then you will be lost. Allow for yourself to have mistakes and be kind in that process, and treat everybody with the same respect. At Commercial Real Estate, in our company, we look to embody that in the work that we do.